That's okay. You can race fast tired.
I can race fast tired. Alrighty. Wish me luck. Gotta try to keep my first place spot today.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm a little tired.
That's okay. You can race fast tired.
I can race fast tired. Good morning, team. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, and I am Macky, and on this channel, we are bringing the mountain bike race experience to you guys.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Today is day 2 of Montana Enduro Series in Grand Targhee. Sid is not racing.
If you're wondering why, go check out day 1. In the meantime, let's get Macky ready.
Yeah, I gotta get warmed up.
Because he was sitting in the lead after day 1.
Gotta try to keep my lead.
But yeah, there's a lot of people out there. It's competitive,
there are a lot of people.
It's tight. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
We're gonna warm up on the rip row. Did not do a spectacular job warming up yesterday, I would say. No. We didn't warm up yesterday.
No, this is better.
Yeah, more accurate. I'm waiting for Macky to button my pants and tie my shoes for me because I can't do either of those things with my lobster claw. If you're like, what happened to Sid's hand? You are behind the times and you need to go watch the day 1 video.
Right up.
Over there.
Yesterday went well. As I told Sid, I had the most boring day. I didn't catch anybody or pass anybody. I didn't crash. I didn't have any mechanicals. I just had a totally clean day, which is totally boring and just the way I like it. I finished 46 seconds ahead of second place, Scott Mooney, and an additional 15 seconds ahead of third place, Adam Wendell. Jeremy David, local shredder and last year's winner of this race, finished in 4th on the day, 1 minute and 14 seconds back after a nasty crash on the first stage that lost him a big chunk of time. So while I had a bit of a buffer, I knew I couldn't afford to have any issues and needed to have a fast, clean day of racing. The pressure was on. All right, here's the top of stage 1. A little chillier today than yesterday. Starting with the hardest trail this morning, Blondie. The first stage of the day, Blondie, dropped more than 1,300 feet in just over a mile, making it the steepest stage of the weekend. It started off with a fast, rocky side hill where you had to be careful to stay on the trail or risk a high-speed tumble down the ski slope. Then it dove into the steeps, which the lack of recent rainfall had left dry and dusty with plenty of holes, but very little traction. Although there wasn't much in the way of line choice, there were enough corners and tricky sections to keep me fully focused throughout the run. You don't really get an opportunity to warm up because we just take the chairlift, so it's just like straight in, fast as you can, most technical trail. I'm glad I spent a little time on the rip row. I'm hoping that will help me be a little bit more awake than I would be otherwise. I think we're getting ready to drop. Wish me luck. Gotta try to keep my first place spot today. It's race time.
3, 2, when you're ready. Have at it.
I had a clean run on Blondie and hit all the lines I had checked out in practice. The one thing that did slow me down a bit was that I forgot whether or not I'd started the camera and had to find a spot where I could take my hand off the bar and hit the button. Of course, it turned out I had originally started it, so that turned it off, and then I had to slow down again to turn it back on. Embarrassing and a bit time consuming. But I still finished second on the stage, just under 10 seconds behind Jeremy, and held on to my first place in the overall.
Yeah, Macky! Come on, Macky! Woo, 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 woo! How was it?
Clean.
Good.
Except for thinking I hadn't turned the camera on, turning it off, and then turning it back on, which I definitely had to slow down for that. I tried to really focus on like being really low and aggressive. This is my note to self says, get low and look ahead. It's not quite as inspirational as Sid's was,
yeah,
but
well, we saw how well that worked out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember to do that, which can be hard to do. Ooh, he's like, whoa, whoa. Hi, Bodie.
Heard about pictures.
Is he?
Yes.
See the bottom of one.
Wherever you want him to go. think our next dog has to be a shoulder dog.
Stage 2, Rock Garden, is the next most difficult run at Grand Targhee Bike Park. While not as steep as Blondie, it's faster and rockier with just enough line choice options to leave you struggling to remember them all. Right out of the gate, there are a few tricky corners and some small drops, then the trail opens up and it's mock speed through the rocks. Then there's a series of jumps, into the final section of tight twisting single track to the finish. Alrighty. I had another clean run on Rock Garden, hitting my lines and generally feeling fast. Turns out it wasn't fast enough to beat Jeremy, who got me by 15 seconds and moved into second in the overall, but it was fast enough to stay ahead of Scott and Adam and stay in the lead.
All right. Nice, guys, nice.
Good.
With this wind, I was scared to get off the ground, especially that first one where there was a crosswind. I just like sucked it really hard and rode across the top and down the other side. And then the later ones when we had a tailwind, I was like, okay, that's fine.
Looks like Macky had a good stage 2. Now we're doing some overlanding to get to the finish, and hoping that I don't fall and break something else, because it's hard to walk when you have one hand strapped to you.
I'm here at the top of the final stage, stage 3 of the day, stage 6 of the weekend. This is the last stage. The final stage of the weekend was lower sticks and stones. It was super short with race times in the low 2-minute range. Started off with some tricky tight single track through the trees and finished with a long sprint. And that was pretty much it. I think as long as I can have like a smooth, clean run with no serious issues, I should be able to stay in the lead for the weekend. Before I drop in though, I want to give a huge shout out to our Patreon team. They are the reason that we are able to do this YouTube channel. Any of you who want to support the channel, who want to help us keep doing what we're doing on this channel, we'd love to have you join us on Patreon. It's a really cool group of people, super fun community. We'll put a link to it up there. If that doesn't make sense for you, you don't want to, or financially that doesn't make sense, we totally understand. It would be huge though if you would be willing to subscribe to our channel. That tells us that you enjoy what we're doing, that we should keep doing it. So if you can't join us on Patreon, at the very least, make sure you're subscribed. It's super easy. Our logo down in the corner right there, you hover over it, subscribe button will pop up, you click it. Doesn't cost you anything. It just tells you when more of our videos come out. So a win-win for everyone. All right, I'm gonna go race this last stage. Wish me luck. We'll see you on the flip side.
I was waiting outside the bedroom in your hotel suite. On the table I saw a line of confidence waiting for us to meet. I was standing on the edge of the waterfall, raising my hands up to the sky to see if I lost it all. It's such a messed up place for all there is to face. I couldn't help them if I tried.
Yeah, Macky? How was it?
Well, my heart rate says 170 beats per minute, so
Dang, that's
it's lower now, but
still in the red there. That's really high for you.
that's solid cross-country race heart right there.
Sprint, because last 100 meters of a cross-country race. This part always makes me a little nervous. Macky's going to dip his chip.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Grand Enduro Pro Male Podium.
I did end up winning, which I'm super stoked about. This is my first win of the season. Always feels really, really good.
If you enjoyed this video, I hope you guys will check out this playlist right here. This is some of our favorite race videos from this year, but also from years past. So there's some really good ones in there. We'll see you guys over there in just a second. And in the meantime, don't forget to be more awesome.